Retail and hospitality is changing, with often complex and fragmented systems combined with large volumes of customer data for businesses to make sense of. It's critical to work with the right partners in order to guarantee success. At Tratec Consulting, we help retail and hospitality businesses transform their technology, removing overly bloated processes and creating unified and efficient systems of working throughout. So don't just take our word for it. See for yourself. Tratec Consulting, the leaders in technology transformation across retail and hospitality.
Good evening and welcome to the All Things Borough podcast, the official podcast of Farnborough Football Club and sponsored by Tratec Consulting. Tratec takes your business visions and turns them into innovative reality. Good evening, everybody watching us on YouTube. I'm Alan, as you all well know, and I'm joined by Simon, my illustrious co-host. How are you doing, Simon?
Controversial.
Get a haircut.
You just noticed. Thanks, mate. We've been chatting for like 45 minutes. You only just noticed. Can't believe it. Disgusting. You need to get your eyesight sorted out. Yeah, I have had it.
Your patches up here are getting wider.
That's right, like yours. Yeah, no, I'm combing it over. Yeah, like obviously our guest hasn't got these issues, but he might have seen enough. I'm all right. Yeah, I had a haircut at the old the Iraqis down the road from court. He's all right. Don't know what his name is yet. Don't know. Abdul probably. Who knows? Yeah, he's a nice bloke. Always say hello. Sorry, mate. He actually ventured out of his barber shop today. The first time I've ever seen his legs. So it's the first time. And he said, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'll just get a bit of fresh air." He said, "Oh, fair enough." And off he went. Oh, said hello. Nice chap. Yeah. Does a good haircut. 12 quid in all, bargain.
Very good. Well, yeah. I mean, with that shit hair, you need something good, don't you?
Listen, Lego hair I prefer, mate. Lego.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I've never heard you being described as that, but that's the first one for me. So yeah, I'll keep using that one. As everyone can see, thanks for joining us on YouTube. As you can see, we are joined by Farnborough midfielder Aaron Kuhl. Aaron, good evening.
Hi, fellas. You right?
How are you doing?
Yeah, good, thank you. Yeah, I'd noticed the haircut. I thought I'd put that out there. I did notice it. It looked really sharp. I thought you looked really good.
Don't start with that, Aaron. Don't start with that.
Five is in the post now. 5 is in the post. Stop now.
No, we don't need him. He's already thinks he's really big bollocks. You know what I mean? So don't need to encourage it.
You trying to do an impression of Aaron Kuhl there, right? He trying to do what he wasn't. He was trying to do it. Listen, don't stand for it, Aaron. Don't stand for it.
I've actually just had a haircut. It's too short myself. Like it's very short.
No, I thought he looked a bit shorter, actually, to be fair.
It honestly does, yeah.
It is so short. I think last week it was getting a bit too long. I couldn't actually see anything. But yeah.
Does that explain some of your misplaced passes?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably most of the time. Or misplaced tackles, more like it.
Sorry, mate. Only kidding.
No,
yeah, remember Simon off air before Aaron came on that I said don't say anything to annoy him?
Yeah.
That's why I changed it from illustrious to controversial. There you go. That's why. Now you know why. Yeah. So I apologise to you, Aaron. So it probably won't be the last nasty jibe I get in. So apologies for that. I apologise for the first one. That'll be the last. Anyway, yeah. We're up to today, Aaron. What have you been doing?
I went to work this morning. Got back about 5 o'clock. Took the dog for a walk. Obviously, people like to see me around Farnborough doing that. And yeah, freeze my tits off. Got home and now just talking to you, lovely chaps.
Happy days. What walk did you want to do on a Thursday? You know what I mean? It's
yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
What do you do for work, Aaron?
I work for Waitrose. So just a manager at Waitrose in Yateley. It's just down the road. So yeah, I've been there since I pretty much stopped playing football professionally because I had to fund my own rehab. So I had to get a job to fund it. But yeah, been there. It was meant to be a bit of a bit job, but it's just worked really well with being flexible for football mainly. So yeah, just there at the moment.
And being the manager, you do all the rotas. I take it, so you can sort of put them.
I make sure I'm nice to all the other managers, so they let me get my time off.
Top man.
So I do a lot of hard work for them to make sure they let me have my weekends off, so I don't have to bother.
I was going to say, do you get a lot of with a lot of you guys that do work outside of football? Do you get a lot of help from your workplaces when it comes to games and training and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think most of us have got quite a good flexible relationship with our jobs. Whether you start and then you become part of football as well. Like where I was, I didn't have football at the time, so I was working there firstly, and I made them aware that I will probably go back. I just had to recover, and then once I went back, I just said to them like, football's my priority. I need to get back playing properly, and they've been really flexible, and I can't really fault them for that. But most of the boys, have got a good relationship. I know sometimes it's a little bit difficult, but normally we make it work. But yeah, most of the lads I hear have got a really good relationship with their work, and they have good flexibility around it all. I'm lucky; my work don't. Most people work on the weekends at least once, and they just let me off. I just do a lot of lates at work, so I do finish at like 9-10 o'clock most nights in the week, minus the ones we have training, and then they let me have the weekend off so I can play.
No, that's good. That is good. That happens really, because obviously, like you say, football's important to you guys, and that's all you want to do is you want to play, really, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're spot on there.
Right, let's go back then. Let's go back to the beginning. When did it all first start for you? How old were you when you started playing?
Cool, long time ago. I lived in Farnborough when I was younger, so I didn't actually play for Farnborough. I played for Yateley, which was where I moved to when I was a bit older. So I think I was about 5, 4. My dad obviously was a footballer himself, and I just started like kicking the ball around the house, and I had a bit of a natural thing for it because obviously my dad was a player himself. And then I went to like one of those like basic kid camps where you just learn to pass ball into nets and stuff, and ran around cones. And the guy just said, "No, you're too good. You need to go up a couple of age groups." So I stepped straight up to a year above, like straight away, and played like 5-7 aside for Yateley for quite a lot of the time. It was probably my most enjoyable moments of football ever, from those age groups all the way to like 8 or 9, just playing like 5-a-side with my mates. No worries, like you're a kid, you didn't care. And then whilst I was doing that, I joined 2 teams at the same time. So I was basically playing for 3 teams in one go. So I was playing Tuesday night for Sandhurst, and then I was playing Saturday for Yateley, and then Sunday for Frimley. So I was just constantly playing football. It's like my life. There was only one other day where I didn't play football, and I was doing swimming. And literally, my mum and dad were running me around all over the place. My sister used to do synchronized swimming, so literally we were just all over the place, flying around, doing our training all the time, doing our events, playing our matches. But yeah, it started from a real young age. Just dad sort of just said, "Here's a ball," and just went on from there. But yeah, from the young age, played for 3 teams, all old age groups. So.
It's the parents' job, though, isn't it, to like ferry you about. And if you want your son or daughter to have success, it's part and parcel of parenting, isn't it? I'm about to embark on this one. Well, I'm saying about to. My little boy's 4 next year, so I'll start him early. But yeah, you do. It's part of the parents' job. Plus, your dad's obviously had a background in football as well, as everybody knows. Quite a quick career as well. So he probably knew it was coming.
Yeah, I think so. I think like I read a book when I was on holiday once with my other half, and we were up there, and I was reading it. I was like, this is actually amazing. There's one bit like it's called the goldmine effect, the book, and like the parent like sacrifices their whole life in this book, just to make sure their son or daughter can get out of the slums that they're living in. And like, my parents, no offense, my dad was constantly playing football or coaching. He was at Aldershot at that time, I think, when I was younger, or at Reading doing his coaching badges. But my mum, honestly, she drove me around everywhere. Me and my sister, we used to have this like horrible beat up Toyota thing that was just like 8-seater. We'd get everyone in the car. We'd be out for the whole day in it. We'd come back. The aircon didn't work. The heating didn't work. It was just a car that meant we got to things on time and in places. I used to turn up to games all the time because my mum was rushing around with ketchup on my face after eating a bacon sarnie, like half a shin pad on, running across the field to make sure I arrived on time. But yeah, I honestly, I'm very lucky to have parents like that gave me the opportunity to do something I loved. But yeah.
Is that still your go-to sort of pre-match meal then, a bacon sarnie with a bit of ketchup on it, or have you changed?
No, I'm real. I think when I started as a professional, I've got real into my food, so I'm quite good with it. Gets a bit different over Christmas when you've got a few other things just floating around. But no, I'm pretty. The pre-match rule is pretty weird. Like, I just have scrambled egg on toast early doors in the morning, and then I just have like this weird shake that I've made, and it seems to just work perfectly for me. When I was younger, I used to eat too much and just get all bloated, but now this one shake just does it for me, and
Yes, we had Josh on last week, and he's saying he can't eat anything after 11 o'clock. He's stuffed He has to have his scrambled egg or beans on toast or something, and that's it. He can't do anything else.
I think Josh will explain to you as well. When you're at a club, professional club, you get like given like the exact times you should eat, which will maximise your performance, and they tell you what to eat and when to eat it. And sometimes, honestly, I think it's finding what's right for you. There's all sorts of difference, but I think 3 hours is like the perfect time to eat before a game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I have that we will. I mean, I'm a bit regular, shall we say, in the morning, so I have to sort of, I think if I was eating something else, I mean, like a kebab. If I've had kebab the night before, I soon know about it in the morning. I can tell you that. So, like I said, everybody's different,
Well, and yet again, we can always rely on Simon to lower the tone a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. And I know Alan has trouble editing episodes. I always try and stick something controversial in there, so he can't edit it out. He's stuck with it.
That's good. That's good.
There's my contribution.
So when did what happened with Reading then? When did you start? How did that come about?
I was playing in a tournament. I think it was for my Yateley team. Again, in the summer, it goes mad again. You're just playing tournaments constantly. Yeah. And there was a few scouts that came. My dad was at Reading at the time, and they said, "Why didn't you bring your son in?" And he was just like, "No, I'm not doing it. I don't get involved." He literally didn't get involved in any of my early success I had as my football career. And there was Reading. I think it was Chelsea and Southampton, and Reading was the local one. So I just went, that makes sense to me. I'll go there. And then I think from the ages of from about 8 onwards, I was there throughout the academy. Progressed all the way through the age group. The age of 14, me and about 7 other players signed like a 4-year deal. 4-year deal till we were 16 before we signed our first year scholarship. And some of those players are like playing in the Championship regularly now, Premier League, which is really good. Like we had a good little group that made it and did really well. And then just worked my way up. So went from 16, left school. Well, before I left school, I was doing 4 days a week at school. This thing called day release. We used to go in Wednesday and train. And then did that for 2 years. Then left school, signed my scholarship. Then signed my first year pro at the age of 17 or 18, I think. And then signed another one, an extension, till I was about 20 when I left. So I did about 10 years, made it all the way through to the first team, captained at every age group. So it was nice little experience. Peaked a bit early, maybe debut at 18 and all that, but yeah. But no, Reading started about 8.
Reading's got a good academy. Were you playing down at the Hogwood?
Hogwood, that was when I think they've just moved to this new one near the Nirvana Spa now. Which was in plans for years. Like when I was there, they were trying to do it, but there was like some endangered nymph or something on the golf pond, and they had to like hold it for 2 years. They couldn't get it out, so they had to like wait for this endangered animal to leave the pond naturally before they could chop it all up and make it into a football ground.
Endangered nymph. Nymph. That sounds like one of the names I've been called online a few times. But that's another story.
Honestly, I was like, "Is this a mythical creature? What is this?" Like, I was expecting it to have 900 eyes.
Bearded dragon, bearded fire-breathing dragon. That sort of stuff. Yeah.
Can't wait to see it, and it's so small.
Yeah,
one or two of them had to just leave.
There wasn't a reflection on you that when I said bearded dragon. I wasn't talking about you, by the way. I've been past that.
How good was that Reading Academy then? Because my nephew has, like, in the last couple of years, come out of the Reading Academy. I think he left the under-18s. Obviously, there was like loads of financial issues going on at the club, and I think they were all let go. I think at the time, and but he obviously went through from a young age like yourself, and enjoyed it obviously, and now he's playing at the minute. He's at Marlow, I think, at the minute.
Yeah.
But he's enjoyed it. How good was it?
It honestly it's up there as one of the best in the country. When I was there as a kid, we were pushing to get this Category 1 status, which is like the top level, like your Man City's, Chelsea's, Arsenal's, and all those get it like given to them. But there's clubs like us and Southampton that have to like stride for it, and like we had to get all the right thing, all the right paperwork. We had to do homework as players. The managers had to do homework. We all had to we had to have a dome on site, which is like the indoor 3G thing. So we had to have a 3G pitch in the area so we could play at all times. And when it was that, we were hitting like, I think they say 1% make it out of footballers, 1% out of, I don't know, I say 100 make it. But at Reading, I think it was 5 to 10% made it. So we were in like a bracket with like Chelsea, Southampton, us, and someone else. Can't remember who the other one was. And yeah, my age group and about 3 years above, 3 years below have really done really well. Like people like Jake Cooper plays for Millwall. Jack Stacey plays for Norwich. He's been promoted from every league, from National League all the way to the Premier League. Like, that's an incredible stat. I've got Liam Kelly played for Feyenoord. Rob Dickey's captain of Bristol City. Dom Hyam plays for Blackburn. Like, all these boys have done an amazing job, and they've all come through our academy. And there's loads of people that have done amazingly well. And if you look around, there'd be a lot of players that say, "Yeah, I was in the Reading Academy at some point." Like, there's a guy at Dorking with me, Josh Bricken. He was there a couple of years below me. Josh Barrett plays for Aldershot. He played for Bristol Rovers and stuff. Like, we had a really, really strong team, and the academy was amazing. Like, everyone worked really hard. There's a guy called Eamon Dolan who sadly passed away, but a lot of it was down to his hard work and his like smart ways of going about things and keeping the right players at the right time. But yeah, it was an amazing academy. It had a little bit of a bitter end for me, but yeah, it was an amazing academy. Like, I loved it there. Couldn't complain. They gave me my league debut. It was amazing.
Talking of players who have played abroad, because you mentioned one guy they played for Feyenoord. You ended up at Real Mallorca, didn't you, in 2015? And then you're also at a Swedish side, which I can't pronounce. Well, I could, but I'll get it. Yeah, you've done a better job than I did. I don't know what I called it offline. I don't want to know. How did those sort of moves come about? Was that something that always interested you playing abroad, or is it just something that came up?
I always wanted to play abroad. We played when I was younger, about 17. We went to Spain and played in like this Spanish tournament, which was like a big thing, but Reading went over, and like I loved it. The style of football the Spanish played. We were playing against just like local teams, probably like a Farnborough or something over there. And honestly, it was amazing. Loved it. So yeah, the Real Mallorca thing came up because I knew I was getting released at the end of the year, or I knew I wasn't in and about. So one of the chairmen was a part owner over there as well, in like at their club. And he said, "Come over. They'd like to see you. Would like to play." So I was like, "Fantastic! This is sounding amazing." Like, Mallorca were a big team back then, and they still are. They got their own TV channel, their own plane. So I turned up, and they were like, "Yep." We did training one day, very like relaxing in Palma on the beach, like just walking around thinking, "Wow, what a place!" And went on trial for about 2 weeks, and we went to Feyenoord, played them in Holland, and Den Haag, I think it was, played them as well. And then we got back to the airport, and I was really excited. And this is where I say it's a bit of a bitter end. Like, Reading, they called me back to like ask for contract talks, and I was like, "Well, you don't want contract talks. I'm leaving in the summer. Like, I'm not getting a contract." And then Mallorca were like, "Well, we'd like you to come back for a kit launch. We're doing a kit launch. We'd like you to be there, and we could like show you off as a player." And I was like, "Fantastic. Yeah, I'm up for that." And then Reading wouldn't leave it. And then in the end, they just left me at the airport, and I had to find my own way home. And that was the end of it. And I was gutted, like absolutely gutted. I was learning Spanish on Duolingo, whatever it's called. I was thinking, here we go. Like, I'm going to be multilingual, and I'm going to be able to talk to people, and loving it. And yeah, I was gutted. I was actually really gutted in that. And that's why I say I had a little bit of a bitter end towards Reading. Like, once I left, I got injured, and I tried to contact the physios, and nothing came of it. But yeah,
is that the reason why you left Reading? Were you injured at the time?
No. So that my contract just came to an end. I think I fell out of favour. I think Yapstam saw me, and I don't think I just wasn't his cup of tea, and that was what it was. I went out and went on loan to a few places which weren't the right loans. I tried to push it. I went to like Dundee United, and that was a bad loan for me, really, because I signed straight away, and the manager that was there got sacked, and then we were already relegated as well, which wasn't great. I just saw one of our players who did it a couple of years ago, and he did really well, and I thought, well, maybe I could recreate that and do it myself. But yeah, Reading wouldn't let me go on loan to local like League Two teams, which was really upsetting me. Like, Plymouth came in, we played them in pre-season. They were like, "We'd like to take you," and I was going to go with one of my teammates, and they said no. And it was just little things like that that just upset me a little bit. But yeah, no, like I say, I can't complain. Had a great time, but yeah.
It's disappointing, isn't it, when you think it's disappointing when you think you could have, if you got yourself loaned out, got yourself like started up again, you could have been. Yeah,
and that's it. Like, they let me rot in like the academy team for like a couple of years, like a year basically. They wouldn't let me play any 23s game to try and sell myself. They wouldn't let me. I get it. They're trying to develop their players, but I was just saying, like, I've been here for 10 years. Surely you're going to give me some sort of lever just to go and sell myself. And yeah, they sent me on loan to like Boreham Wood, and that didn't really work. And I just said I was a bit upset about it when I left, and I said that to them. But yeah, it is what football's like. Like it from the outside, everyone thinks football's really nice, but it's a really cutthroat business. And like, I understand it. Like I had a great career, well, early career. I played for my country. I made a league debut, and yeah, I had some of the best moments of my life. But I experienced it all by the age of 20. And then I got the other side of it at Aldershot pre-season, and yeah, did my knee ligaments and had no club, had no funds for it, so I had to try and fund it all myself.
How do you do it as a young player and as a young man as well? All the stuff that was going on with Reading and all the loans that weren't really right and working out, and then obviously the injury come playing in that pre-season friendly with Aldershot. How do a young man deal with that kind of thing?
Truthfully, I didn't think about it.
It's a lot to be on. It's a lot on a young man's shoulders. Just as a young man in general, not just a player.
Yeah, like luckily, like I had a good support group around me, but like I'll be honest, like, I didn't look into it in too much detail. I just looked at like the next step. I thought, okay, what I've got to do is have an operation and get it sorted. And to be fair, I probably rushed into it too much. I should have like relaxed a little bit and took a step back and set it up better. Like I just went straight from being injured. I got injured at Aldershot, and I was like, all right, what do I need to do? Speaking to their physio, and they were like, well, you need to probably go see a surgeon. So I was like, boom, sorted it, got it done. And I probably should have, in hindsight, taken a step back, reassessed my situation, looked at the best sort of physio I could get, the best sort of surgeon I could get. Because what actually happened is I had an operation, and I actually didn't see the right sort of surgeon. They just got me back to being able to walk and not to play football. Right. And then I had to have another operation to redo it all, which then put me back like another 2 years. So like when I was at Aldershot, I was with Manny, and Manny was there, and he got injured. I came on, I got injured, and then I literally didn't see him ever again, because by the time I come back to start training again, the Aldershot let me train with him, and he was gone, and I was 3 years later down the line trying to play football again. So yeah, in hindsight, I just didn't look at it. But what I had to do is I had to kind of distance myself from football. So I luckily met my other half, Ellie, in that time, and I've done some of the things that I've never been able to do with football, is go away on holiday at times of the year, which I've never been able to do. But what it did is I had to just step back. So all my mates had done really well. I didn't watch football. I didn't look at football. It was like I hated it. I just cut it out of my life. So I couldn't not get jealous or be a bit bitter about everyone doing so well. I just had no response or no reaction to it. So that's how I kind of dealt with it. I kind of just cut it out of my life for 3 years and focused on just getting myself fit, rehabbing, stop myself from looking like a rugby player, and then getting back to a footballer shape. Because when I came back, I can tell you I was more of a rugby shape than anything. I just hit the gym for about 3 years, and I was absolutely massive. But yeah, that's how I dealt with it, really. Very lucky to have the support group. Obviously, Ellie's helped me through it massively and supported me. But yeah, I had to cut a lot out of my life.
Did you get some good advice from your dad? Because obviously he must have had his fair share of injuries in his time.
I can tell you what, he is the worst person to go for advice about injuries. He just tells me to ice it on the stretch. He played with like broken legs and got a broken leg and told the physio to strap him up, and I'm going to go break his leg and then come back off. And like back in his day, like injuries weren't a thing. They'd play through like torn hamstrings and stuff like that. They'd drink in the week, the night before a game, drink loads and wear a bin bag to bed to sweat it out and then play the game. Like their type.
Wear a bin bag to bed.
Yeah, something like that. He was a weird man. He probably wore that out anyway as fashion, because
I was going to say, it sounds like one of my shirts, that.
He's a strange bloke. But yeah, his football's a lot different. They were still amazing, but yeah, a lot different to what it is now.
Yeah, the game's changed, isn't it? With that sort of thing, it's why your players play. I think a lot more players play longer than they used to, because you kind of, when you have an injury, you don't try and play through it. You kind of have to kind of rest.
Yeah, and I think if they had my injury when they were my age, say when he was 20, that's a career ender.
That's the end. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Surgery's moved on so far.
Even back then, when your dad was playing, even a leg break would have been potentially a career-ending injury.
Yeah, things moved on so far now. You look at people recovering like in the Premier League from like an ACL tear in like 8 months.
Yeah,
which is incredible.
Yeah. Well, funny enough, I watched I was doing a bit of research for this podcast, and I was watching an interview with Chris Cohen, You remember him? He played for West Ham and Nottingham Forest more famously, and he's had 3 knee operations for the cruciates, and he's come back 3 times, but he's had to retire now. The 3rd one did him. But I think they were saying on there was a guy called Charlie McParland, who's a youth coach at Mansfield. And he was saying, we're back in the day, you had one. If your knee went once, that'd be the end of you. But now you've had 3. You know what I mean? So it's amazing.
That's it. It's crazy. Like, it's come on massive leaps and bounds. Like, players can have injections that like kick your body into gear to help it recover, to mask injuries, to lubricate the joints. It's all sorts. Yeah,
really, really good.
It's amazing.
Did you talking about your time away from this country? What was it like playing in Sweden? Did you play? Is it just a trial, or did you play any games out there? Or
it was Iceland. And it was amazing. So there was a guy called Brynjar Gunnarsson. I don't know if you remember him.
I know him. Yeah,
Reading, midfielder. He contacted me whilst I was out of club at Reading, and it was in their season because they play in the summer because obviously they get no sunlight in the winter, and he was like, "Yeah, we're playing the Europa League every year," and I was like, "Wow!" I was like, "Okay." So literally, I went over for like a week, trained with them twice, watched them play, and then watched the women play. And the women probably as big as them out there as the men's team. And honestly, the way of life out there is fantastic. But yeah, that just didn't work through financially more than anything. It was a massive sort of like chunk to walk away and try and fund my life on what I think it was a real low wage. And I would have struggled to even survive out there, especially with no degrees behind me. At the age of 20, I needed to either go out there and study and do something, which I would have been able to adapt. So I think in hindsight, it could have been a great opportunity, but I just seemed to walk away from that.
Yeah. But you didn't see it as an opportunity to learn another language then, Aaron?
No, definitely not. I've tried to speak a bit of Norwegian and Icelandic before, and honestly, it's baffling how they even pronounce words.
Yeah, it's like my ex-wife's Hungarian. They're the same. It's like a similar makeup. It's like quite Nordic language. It's like, oh god,
they can all communicate between each other though. It's fantastic. Yeah. They've all got similar words, but it is so hard. So hard.
It's like hello's about 20 letters in Hungarian,
and half of them are J's.
Yeah.
So when did it all start coming back? The football side of things. When did it all start coming back after the injury?
So I'll say firstly is thank God that I found this place called Go Perform, which was set up by one of my old physios at Reading. I would honestly would never have made it back without them. But about 3 years after my op, so I think I was about 22, 23 coming back, and I started training with Basingstoke again. And played a few games for them I was training my dad when he was there as a manager, and then Dan Brownlee took over, who's still in charge now. Yeah. And I played about half a season for them, and it was like half a season of just 90 minutes. It was mad. And my body did well, made it through it. But yeah, and then what else? Where did I go after that? Hartley Whitney. So then I signed for Slough after Basingstoke under Bakes and Unders. Joint managers.
Yeah.
And then I played my first game for them, and I pulled my groin in the first game in the first minute. My other half came to watch me, and it was freezing down at Chippenham. I remember it. I think I did a crossfield pass, then I went to press someone, and then literally my groin just went, and I was like, it's like 10 minutes in. I was buzzing to be back playing for a bit higher league again. And then, they were like, well, we're going to send you on loan to Hartley Whitney. You'll be dual regged. And then I was like, that's fine. So I went to Hartley Whitney and, played under Millers down there and had a lovely time, to be fair. Met loads of nice blokes, played some real good football, found my love for it again. And then lockdown happened, I think, before I went back to Slough, which was fantastic. So I spent however long just running in fields and on roads and doing weird workouts, and then went back to Slough, and we played a playoff game in lockdown. I remember it was like midsummer, and it was like the semi-final playoff game against Dartford, I think it was. So the build up to that, we were playing like Brackley, and we arrive into games in midsummer, baking hot, having to do one of those like temperature tests because we were too hot because otherwise you've got COVID. Like we turned up to this game and like half our team couldn't get in. It was like 30 degrees. I was like, surely this doesn't work because we've just been in a car for an hour and a half and just got to Bracknell.
Yeah.
So yeah, did that, and then and then I spent like a couple of years, I think about 2.5 years at Slough. Met some of the best blokes I've ever met in football. Had some of the nicest times, some of the best memories. Really enjoyed it. Really found my love for football again, and was just like having such a good time. And then and that was it. And then I went to Dorking after that. It was a bit of a weird situation at Slough. They were really struggling financially, and I wasn't on contract. So I had to kind of leave. I was going to leave, or I was going to have to just not get paid for a while. So at that time, Dorking came in at the same time, and they signed me injured. I had a little bit of tweak on my knee. And then, just spent my last 2 years at Dorking on and off playing. And then came and joined the Borough halfway through last season and loved every second of it.
Yeah. Did you, I was going to ask you, at Slough, were you playing, you were there with Jack Turner, I take it?
Yeah, me and Jack were there, and Guy. Guy was there.
Oh, yeah, Guy Hollis,
we had a really good team, like a lot of experience and a couple of young lads. And I was a young lad back then, but we had a lot of experience. We had like Guy Hollis, Ryan Bird. He played, scored in Wembley. Few other players. Jack, Tyler Goodrum is playing for Oxford at the moment. He was like 17 at the time, and he was incredible. He was a young player, like a little bit of baby fat still on him, but he was unbelievable. And we knew he was going to be a great player. But some of the Slough boys that are still there, Scotty was there, Josh Jackman. Yeah, we had a really good team. Just like we were always awkward to play against. Like you never knew what you were going to get. Sort of similar to how we've been a bit this season. But like you never know. We were going to always make it entertaining. We could win 4-0. We could lose 4-0 to the team at the bottom, or we could beat the team at the top 4-0. It was mad. Or you just get the most boring 0-0 draw, but have a million shots.
Yeah.
So it was a really good time. And Jack, he was a big part of that team. Yeah, massive part.
What you just said there about winning 4-0, it does sound like you've summed Farnborough's current season up in about 10 seconds there.
Yeah, literally. We're a bit up and down at the moment, but we're still doing an amazing season. You think, you wouldn't expected us to be where we are, but we're flying still. Yeah,
me and Aaron are definitely flying the flag for you guys. I think you're doing really well, to be fair. I'm Mr. Pessimistic. I'd have said I'll take top 10 all day long. I said, and Alan was like, "No, I get playoffs." And everybody who's come in has said, I've already signed, said they wanted to be getting in the playoffs, etc. So that's the target, isn't it?
I think every fan, and you guys, because obviously you were part of the club last season as well when you came on loan. The way that we sort of missed out on playoffs last year, sort of was a bit gutted really for all the players and that. And so coming into this season, that's their main aim. That's the only thing they're looking at is to get into the playoffs because they missed out on it by such a small margin.
I still blame Mark White for that because he recalled you. So
I can't tell you how upset I was. I was so upset.
Yeah, what a twat! What a twat!
You're taking the words. Honestly, I was on the way back from Dover, and Spencer called me on the way back, and I was like, I've probably had one of my best games I had for Farnborough that day. Nearly scored a hat trick. Never scored a hat trick in my life. And I was on my way back, and Spencer called me. He said, "Surely, if he doesn't recall you back after this game, it's too late, and he can't." And I was thinking, he's never going to recall me back. Like they were in trouble months before that, and he still didn't do it. I was thinking, he's not going to do it. Like he's not going to do it. And then I honestly looked at my phone Sunday morning. There was a voice note, and I was like, "Oh no." I was like, I'm gutted. I said to my other half, I said, like, I don't want to open it. And I didn't open it for ages and just left it there. And then a second one appeared, and I was like, I've got to open it now. And I was absolutely gutted.
I mean, it upset a lot of fans. Everybody was upset, angry, all of that about it. But at the end of the day, that's football. That's how football works. That's how the loan system works as well. So, as much as we could be annoyed by Mark for doing it, it's his prerogative. It's his right to do it. And you had had such a good time with us in the games that you played with us that it warranted the callback, even though they weren't doing very well. He obviously felt that he needed to bring you back in good form to try and sort of
The problem is though, if I interject, like what annoyed most fans who don't know anything about football, which is most fans, they it's annoying. I know I'm annoying at all of our listeners now. They're probably turning off. But so the thing is, when he records you, he didn't play you. It's just like, well, why does he record you then?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
He didn't record you, play you.
I think the first game I sat on the bench, I knew sub, and I was gutted myself.
Yeah.
And then I think I came on second half in the next game, and I was just like, yeah, I was gutted. Honestly, I was sat there gutted. And then I think I played the big game that we needed to play, and he took me off after we were 2-1 up against, I think it was Wealdstone. He took me off, and we lost 4-2. And that was like a big game we needed. We needed to win, and I was actually playing really well. And then I just thought, like, I was gutted, honestly, because I was thinking I might have played well enough to maybe somehow got us in the playoffs. Maybe scored another pen. Who knows?
Yeah.
But
me and Simon were after you left. Me and Simon were talking, going and looking at the team sheet, going, he's not even on the. He's on the bench. He's not even starting.
Yeah.
It was mad, he's starting and he brings you off early.
Yeah, I was a bit gutted. I'm not gonna lie, and I spoke to him about it in the off season, and he agreed. And like I was upset about it, and he knows how I felt about it. But it was it's part of football though. That's like we say, like it's a mad business. It's very cutthroat, and do you
get on with Mark? Do you think he's all right? Do you rate him as a manager?
Honestly, as a manager, he's got an unbelievable record. If you look at like what is it? It's like 12 promotions in 24 seasons, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
I know it's from like mad leagues, but like that is incredible for any standard.
Yeah.
Like if that's in the top 5 leagues, you're thinking he's probably one of the best managers in the world. But you can't put any bad words about him. He's built the club up and he got to where he's got to. He's amazing at what he does there. And he is generally a nice guy.
He is a good bloke. He's given us loads of times. We had him on our podcast in pre-season. He gave us like an hour and a half. It's fantastic. Really good.
He loves
what I like about him, which I think maybe a lot of people maybe don't, because I'm a bit sort of right wing Nazi anyway. It doesn't bother me. But he's very straight, and I like that. And some players will either like that or they won't. You know, that's the way he's very Marmite, I think.
Yeah, and I think his thing is he classes all the players as his friends, and that's what he looks at. So like the club is just a group of his friends, and I think like at the moment the club's not had the best year, and he's realizing that like some of them that he can't keep them all at the same time. Like you notice a lot of his players gone out on loan now because the club needs an income, and like he's paying players to be there, but if they're not playing and not doing what he wants them to do, he needs to get them out on loan and get some income for them. So
it's detrimental to both ways, isn't it? Because it's detrimental for the club because they're losing money or not making any money, shall we say? But then there's also the player wants to play, so both parties are unhappy. It's not great.
And I think his thing is he just classed us all as friends. Like he was genuinely gutted for when I literally called him up and said I'm going to leave if that's okay, and he was genuinely gutted. And I know it's the same with Seb. Like Seb was exactly the same. Like he generally class us all as friends, and he just wants to have a good time with his mates and win football and play football and to spend time together. And I have no bad words to say about him. Like my face didn't really fit there, and that's just what it is. Like football's football.
No, I think like Simon said, we had him on the podcast a couple of months ago, and like Simon said, he gave us nothing but time, and it was really great chatting to him. And when they came to Farnborough a couple of weeks ago, he had a little chat with us on video. Just before kick-off, and that, which was really great. But like you obviously started the season with them this season.
Yeah.
What's it been like? With I know you had an injury a few games in as well. But what's your sort of reasoning as to why they're not in the beginning? Essentially, why they weren't sort of performing as well as they probably Mark probably hoped they would.
I think he'll openly admit it. We started off pre-season incredible. It was like the hardest fitness stuff I've done my whole time since I've been there. And we started off with like some hard tests, and we were doing a lot of running. Yeah,
I watched the BOA, the bunch of amateurs, and didn't they take you to like some sort of army camp or something?
Yeah, that was amazing. That was like just absolute carnage, and we were doing tug of war and like all sorts of craziness. That was good fun. But like the first day we did like this thing called the kilometre test. Loads of teams have done it. So you run like 10 lengths of the pitch and you do 1K and you do time yourself. And we were all doing like 3 minutes 30. And we thought, we're just going to do it once and then train. We had to do it 5 times and get in under a minute of it after 5 times. And then the next day, we were doing 3 mornings. The next day was hill runs for like the whole session. and then it was a training session after that, and then the Thursday was the same. And it was like that for 2 weeks. And it was intense. And we were feeling really fit as a team. Like, it was feeling good. And then I think it openly admitted that we dropped off massively for the rest of like the 6 weeks of pre-season. And he was picking up injuries because when we started to play games and they were getting a bit intense, we were picking up injuries. And I think if you look at this injury form for this year, it's mad and it's crazy high, but it's because we weren't fit enough. And I think it openly admitted that we weren't fit enough as a team.
Right.
And then that's what's caused a lot of injuries, which has caused a lot of setbacks as the club. And I think he probably thought the league was going to be a bit easier than it was.
I was going to mention that. Do you reckon that the club, Dorking as a club, I think they've been a little bit maybe complacent about it, thinking they're going to not walk the league, but they're not going to find it too difficult, shall we say, to win most games. But I think they've had a bit of
they do a lot. They did not a lot of analysis on things, and they go into a lot of detail. But I think the team maybe got that in their head that they thought they were just going to walk over everyone, and it's not the case. Because like Mark said, everyone wants to beat Dorking just because it's Mark White and that's it. Yeah. But actually, the level of this league's gone up a lot. You look at how close it is. Like
dead right.
Some teams are playing really good football. You've got teams like Worthing that play total football and do it well. You've got teams like us that are entertaining. We play all types of football, but we can play total football and we can also just play long ball and route one. Like we're a proper traditional team that can play all types of football. Whereas the league is tough this year and the standard is good. There's some big clubs in this league. So I think they just expected to just walk it, and the players got that in their head. And I think they got a bit found out at the start with injuries as well. But that's what I would say. I say their fitness was a big thing. And I think it realised halfway through.
Has the pitch played any part in that as well? Because I know Mark has been open about how he doesn't like that pitch at Dorking.
I would say it's a bad 3G, but like I played on Slough's 3G, and that was probably at the same level of how bad it is. Is it the pitch? Maybe we all had to buy 3G boots. I don't know we all had to buy them to try and prevent it. But then we found out some of the boys did their ACLs wearing the 3G boots. So
right.
I don't know. I think it's a bit of both. I think fitness and injuries, just pure luck. But the pitch has probably got a part to play to it. Yeah. But there's some bad 3Gs out there, and you look at Slough, they don't have that many injuries, and their pitch is amazing.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of it's just being unlucky sometimes, isn't it? Sometimes you'll just go out for a header and you land funny, and then you do something, and or you have a bad tackle. All sorts of things happen, don't they?
Yeah, and the age of their team is a lot higher than most of the other teams in the league. Like our average age, if you take out people like me and half the back three, I think it's like 20, 22, 21, which is real young. But theirs would be like 30 maybe. So experience, but it does take its toll.
Yeah, exactly. Well, going back to the move to Farnborough, how did that come about? So I think you sort of muted it. You went in and said to Mark you weren't happy and you wanted to leave, and he let you go, and then obviously
just game time. You weren't getting much game time, or
I think I was just coming. Like I wasn't enjoying it. I was doing a lot of hard work to get to training, to just go there, not play, sit on the bench, sit in the stand. I came back from injury. He wanted to send me on loan, and I was just like, all right, let's be truthful with each other. Am I going to play when I come back? And then he kind of just said like, probably not as much as you want to. And I was like, well, I want to play football. I want to get back to playing properly. So I just went and just had an open conversation with him, and we were both open about it. And it was a real like adult conversation. And he just said, yeah, I'm okay if you want to leave. And I said, yeah, I'm cool to leave. And then that was it. So it just happened there and then. And honestly, it was all done by like 11 o'clock, announced by Dorking. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
And then, I thought, I'm hoping Farnborough will be able to have me back. And I got on the phone to the gaffer, and we had a good chat. And then I didn't expect to have as many phone calls as I did. And then I was getting like messages from loads of teams. I was thinking, Jesus, now it's made my decision a lot harder. And I thought I could only just have one, maybe like Farnborough would be one of them, and then there might be another club. But I had like 14 options. I was like, I am the worst decision maker in history. Ellie will vouch for me. Like, she gets frustrated because I can't even decide what we're going to have for dinner or which way we're going to take the dog for a walk. So yeah,
I know you feel the dinner situation there, and up here in Loughborough, I mean, I've got about 10 or 12 different choices. So
yeah, and because I like food, it's so hard. Like anything.
I've got Mackey's, doner kebab. I've got this chippy up the road. I've got this chippy up the road called 300 Spartans. It's called. It's run by a load of Greeks. They're all Arsenal fans. Honestly, mate, the portion sizes are ridiculous. I've shown Alan some pictures.
I've seen it.
I went up there last night. I'm still recovering now, to be honest with you. So it's I know what you mean about choices. It's hard.
Honestly, it's the hardest thing in life. Honestly, I wish someone could just be like, I've even got a coin. There's a coin where it's like yes or no, and I got it for Christmas last year, and I still can't even use that to make a decision. It lands on its side.
In my world, that means you have to have both. So it stops the decision. If I can't decide, I just go for both. Aaron, you know what I mean? When you've fed up with your scrambled eggs and stuff for your pre-match meal, maybe you should take my advice and just go down the old white roast kebab and have that instead.
I'll give it a go. I'll try it. I'll let you know.
Yeah, good man.
So you had, like you said, you had like 14 clubs. Can you say who? Are you allowed to say who?
So I had one from the league above, which was Braintree, and I think like where at Dorking I was doing a lot of travelling. I just thought that is too much travelling for me. I needed to spend more time with my family. Okay, my other half of my dog. That's my family. I don't have any kids yet, and just have a bit more time to myself to sort of like reset and go again. And then there was like Torquay, Salisbury, who else? All like West Country way. There was a lot that way, and then AFC Tottenham, stuff like that. Farnham was one of them. Had a little chat with them. But yeah, it was like there was quite a few teams in our league. Hemel, a couple of other teams. But yeah, there was loads, and honestly, I didn't expect it. And Truro was another one, like, massive journey.
They offer in a house as well.
Yeah, I was like, can I get a car and
free train travel for life? That'd be quite handy. Yeah.
A lot of it was the West Country way, and obviously there's a lot of big teams that way. But I just had a lot of options, and I didn't expect it because I didn't think. Yeah, I just thought, well, I'm hoping Farnborough will be available. If not, I'm going to have to drop down and play again.
What was it?
Sorry, I interrupted you. Sorry, mate. I did. That is the issue though with a lot of players. A lot of people we like to talk about the stuff that goes on off the pitch rather than on it, because a lot of fans just see the 90 minutes and then go home and just forget about it. But there's a lot of stuff that goes on. It's like the travelling, for example, is a big thing about football, especially semi-pro footballers like at Farnborough. They're all travelling, and there's no coaches. Everyone drives themselves to matches, and all of that stuff goes in. I mean, the other day, Jack was really late to a game, and he couldn't get off 89, and things like that. So it's like mad, isn't it? People don't forget that. Get that sort of thing.
I think like I've gone from like spending how many hours? 4, 8, probably like 20 hours in a car a week, like early morning driving to Dorking and back, where it was Reigate and back. Dorking wasn't too bad, but Reigate was where we were training, and then like spending like nearly £300 a month on petrol, to go in, probably 5 minutes down the road, training in Cobham once or twice a week, and then like just having so much more time to myself, being like more awake. Like it was actually getting dangerous for me on the roads, because I was going from there to work after, and I was like falling asleep at the steering wheel. It's like starting to become an actual problem. And like having so much more time. And I don't think people realise, like us semi-professional footballers, we travel a lot. Like we've got to go to Western-super-Mare on Saturday. If the game's off, we've got to go on a Tuesday night, and that's going to be cool. We're not going to get back till 3 o'clock in the morning.
That's what happened to us last season. So
and it's down to the fans as well. Like the fans will come as well, and you see like the 200 fans that turn up, and you think fair play to them, because they're going to go to work tomorrow morning. They're going to get back to a similar.
Oh, we've lost you, Aaron.
Oh, we lost you, Aaron. Sort your volume up.
We lost your audio there, Aaron.
Your voice is your mouth's moving, but there's no volume coming out.
Can you speak?
Oh, he's gone.
Oh, we've lost the audio.
You crack on, and I'll continue talking. Yeah, it's like I said, it is a big issue with a lot of semi-professional footballers. I mean, even in Farnborough, you've got Ricky, Jack, Reggie. They're all travelling from Essex way. Yeah, it's like it is a big thing, especially on match days. Trying to get to the ground in time for 1:15 wherever you guys meet up. So it's a big thing. People don't tend to realise.
We still can't get your audio, Aaron.
Well, so sign out and come back in, Aaron, if you like. That might work. Yeah, so we'll just wait for Aaron to sort himself out, and me and Alan have a chat between ourselves. Yeah, so anyway, game on. Well, I can hear your dog going. I can hear your dog barking.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, that's better.
Sorry, I don't know what happened there. I think it connected to someone's AirPods or something.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Yeah. Might have done.
Sorry about that. Ruined that.
Was it the dog? Was it the dog with the AirPods on?
Yeah, dog's probably causing carnage around the house at the moment.
We can hear.
He's my best friend.
I almost ran out.
I've seen you on Instagram, Aaron. What kind of dog have you got?
A Cavapouchon. So he's a Bichon Frise and a Cavapoo and a King Charles Cavalier. Mixed. He's just basically, he looks like me as a dog, like just curly blonde hair. And that little chunky thing. Yeah, pretty much identical to me.
Perfect. Was that the stipulation at the breeders? So listen, I want one like me. And he was like,
it's got to go, isn't it? Like dogs look like their owners and all. Owners look like their dogs. It's got to be spot on. Or like Alan, just looks like a dog's dinner all the time.
The only connection I've got to my dog is we both got black and white hair.
Oh, okay, that's good then.
Yeah. When I shave my head and I look on the floor, it looks like I've cut her hair.
What have you got?
We've got she's a Springer, a Cocker mix.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I think what's more affectionately known as a Sprocker.
A Sprocker, very energetic, I bet.
Not really, no, she's not. No, she's like a
definitely takes after you then.
yeah. She's like 11 years old, I think. Her sister, she's got a sister that my girlfriend's sister owns. Our dog's sister. She's more sprightly than our dog. I don't know why my dog is. She likes to bark. She likes to shout a lot. So she's always in the back garden shouting at nothing. I think she's going mad.
Yeah, to be fair, Ralph started to do that. He doesn't like shadows. I think he's scared of the dark. Like, he's brilliant, but when we're sitting in the lounge, he'll see some sort of shadow go by the front door and he'll go crazy. And it's just like, what are you doing? Like, stop barking now, please.
I've got a mother like that as well. She does the same thing.
To be fair, it runs in the family. My mum looks identical. It's like it's just passed down. So it's
You know what? I saw someone who looked vaguely like you the other day. I thought, I'm pretty sure that's Aaron's mum. It must be. And then, I think I've got it confirmed. Yeah. I thought that must be must be Aaron's mum, surely. She comes to the games, your mum.
She's come to quite a few recently. Yeah,
I've seen her a few times. Yeah.
Her and her husband quite enjoy it. It's quite local. They only live in Fleet, so
cool.
I think they enjoy it and they like being around there. Like, we've got some family friends who are part of the club as well. She goes and meets him quite a lot. So I think they do enjoy it.
Yeah, it's nice for you as well to have some family there as well.
I made a bit of an embarrassment last year. I brought quite a lot to New Year's Day. And then I ended up getting sent off, and we
the haven't game, wasn't it? Yeah, that was a nightmare. That was, wasn't it? Oh, dear.
Yeah, bad day for that.
Yeah, not good. What's the plans for Saturday then? Are you just what time you guys got to meet up and leave?
So I think we're all driving directly. So I don't actually know. I've got to be there. Normally we have to be there about 1:15. Our home games is a bit earlier. But 1:15 I've got to get there for. So me and normally the goalkeeper coach Dave drive together.
Oh, cool.
Used to be a lovely car school of me, Dave, CJ, and Bawley. So we used to have a good laugh on the way.
Yeah.
And a lot of enjoyment on the way back. But so me and him normally just in the car together. He brought his son last week, which was quite fun. Had a good chat. Normally get on the road. We'll get on the road quite early, I think. Yeah. Stop for a coffee break on the way. So probably go for about 10 o'clock leave, maybe.
Yeah. Anywhere around you like to go to on the way there? Get your scrambled egg on toast before the game?
No, normally it's just a flat white on the way.
Yeah.
Maybe a banana just on the way, and then just carry on again.
Hopefully not a flat tire.
No, hopefully not a flat tire. I've never, touch wood, been that unlucky.
Yeah.
Never had to miss a game for anything like that.
Yeah. Well,
I
no.
forgot my boots once, which was good.
You got what? Sorry.
I forgot my boots once. That was a good one.
So I played barefoot and skins that game. That's all right. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know we've had obviously Ricky on as well before, and he does a bit of car sharing with Reggie and who is it? Reggie Young and who else would it be?
Chinny, wasn't it?
Who?
Was it Chin?
Yeah, Chinny. Yeah, Chinny. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
They all live that way, don't they?
Yeah. It's quite nice actually. You guys have got car sharing, quite good fun. At least not driving.
Yeah, it was good. Like me, Bully, and CJ used to meet at my house because it was the middle ground all of last season. So they'd all park on my drive, and then we'd get in the car, head off, wave to Ellie and the dog goodbye, and then get back later on. Every game and training. So yeah. It is nice actually. You build a good relationship. Like my last car school at Slough and Dorking, I'm still real good friends with them.
Yeah.
Still batter each other. It's a very weird world, the car school. There's all sorts of weird stuff.
Who gets control of the music in the stereo?
Normally, whoever's passenger. Whoever's passenger is normally in charge. But if it's real bad, it gets passed over to someone in the back. But yeah.
You drawing all like lots for shotgun and that sort of stuff, or
it's just whoever's there first normally, or whoever gets bullied.
You literally go straight out of your car, running round to the car, and get straight in the passenger side, and your seatbelt locked in.
Yeah. I normally get in the back straight away if I'm not driving, just sitting there and hide away so I can't get abused.
Can imagine, yeah.
When I was a kid, I used to with my brother. I used to call shotgun as I was getting in the seat.
Yeah. I think it's the rule is like the first one to see the car, isn't it? And then you can shout it. Or
something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. What's the plans for the rest of the season for you now? Just trying to enjoy football, push on.
Try and just get back to the form I was in last year. Really, I think like Saturday, minus the result, and obviously it wasn't a great result for us. I actually felt like I was starting to play a bit better and a bit like I was last year. Obviously the home game I played quite well against Slough. But yeah, I feel like I'm getting back into my swing of things. I didn't play many games before I got injured at Dorking. I only played about 2. So yeah, just get back into swing of things and hopefully just push the team on. Like we had a big chat as a team the other day. Just try and get our results more consistent. Make sure we're more of a team together. Like when we seem to lose, we get battered, and we don't want to do that anymore. It's not a good look. But when we're solid, if you look at the Slough game, they had a few chances, but we were really good defensively. Yeah, and as a whole team, we were really solid. But then again, you look at the Dorking game, and we started on fire, playing really well, and then for 20 minutes we just fell apart, and we can't have that. Like as a team, we've assessed that as players, not the management staff, as players, and I think we need to push on and make sure that we can just become a solid unit across the pitch. And it will bode well for all of us. Like the older players are playing for contracts, and the younger players are playing for moves. We all want to achieve stuff, and if we all push in the right direction, we'll achieve something as a team, and everyone will achieve something for themselves individually. But first and foremost, we're a team, so we got to guide the young lads. There's some older heads that need to help them, but some of the young lads have really experienced themselves. If you look at Tay, he's come back as like a grown man this year. Like I saw him for the first time about a month ago, and I thought, Jesus, he is actually a man. Last year he was a boy. Like you could tell in some games he was getting bullied, but what a player. He had the best preseason he's ever had at Wickham, and he's come back, and what a player he's been. Been outstanding. He's
definitely bulked up a bit, isn't he?
Yeah, and as a player though, he's got so much more confidence.
As a player, we've been really
scoring goals as well.
Scoring goals, and he has bulked up, but he's 20. He might be just turned 20, and you think across the team we are young, so us older players need to guide them and be like, this is how you need to achieve. If you want to achieve winners breed winners, we've got to become a winning team to push on. Yeah.
Must have been nice coming back to Saturday though with Spencer gave you a good shout, didn't he, after the game? I think he said you were one of the only ones who performed, so that must have been nice.
It's nice, but like I say, I'm a team player. I want us to do well. I was frustrated for us as a team because we battered them for a lot of the game, and we just couldn't seem to carve a chance. And then we had one little dodgy spell, and then we just fell apart a little bit again, which isn't good. Like, as a team, we know it's not good. But again, like I say, we're young, and like, if I play well, I need the team to play well, and that's the thing. I need the team to play well, and if I play well and we lose, it's not good for me. I don't like it. I'm not a selfish player. I want the team to achieve.
And I think we probably already know the answer to this. And then you were cut off earlier when you had problems with your sound. But what was it that brought you back to the club? Because obviously, like you said, you had all those other clubs that were interested in you and who could offer more than what obviously Farnborough can offer. But obviously, like the locality of it, and you're local lad and that.
Yeah.
But what else was it about the club, about Farnborough that brought you back?
I think it's something to do why the reason I stayed at Slough for so long. It's just the fact that I enjoyed it a lot. I loved being at the club, like just the club itself, the people around the club, the way the club's set up, just everything about it. It was really like, it's a relaxed feeling, but you enjoy your football, and the football's good quality. You're playing on a good pitch in front of good crowds who love football and love the players for what they are. And I think like that is why I stayed at Slough for so long, and that is exactly how I felt at Farnborough. It was like a homely club. Like, I want everyone to feel welcome, and that is how I felt. Like, I felt welcome, and I feel that's how the club wanted it to be. And I enjoyed my football, and when you enjoy playing football somewhere, you want to keep on that path and keep it going. And I think that is a major part. Obviously, the gaffer's a big part.
Yeah. The
players are a big part. It was a very similar squad, minus a few of what it was last year. And yeah, I just enjoyed being around the lads, playing and enjoying my football. And I was just hoping that I could recreate that and come back and help perform and kind of get off where I left off last year. Like, I was upset that I went back to Dorking, and I won't be quiet about that. Like, I really was. I wanted
a little bit of unfinished business.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I played more games I played for Farnborough in that loan period than I played for Dorking the whole time, and I enjoyed more of them. And yeah, I just really enjoyed being at the club. And yeah, and it was a nice momentum for me last year, and I wanted to kind of come back and just try and recreate and push the team. And I saw the team doing amazing. I didn't expect to come into the team. Didn't expect to start. Like, the team were top of the league when I joined, I think. So yeah.
It's your fault why we've dropped.
100%. The boys said, like, we haven't won a game since you've come back, and I was like, it's probably my fault. I'll go back. Let me go, and I'll go somewhere else.
Tell me contracts up. Yeah. Well, you laid that goes to the rest in the Slough game, which was a good one for you to win. So that was all right. So you got that.
I also wanted to ask you something as well, because obviously everybody's online, social media, and obviously we'll be first to admit that we haven't had some good results, which is why we've dropped down a few positions. We're still in the playoffs, and me and Simon have sort of thought that yes, we've had some bad results, but yes, we're still in a really great position in the league, and it's still, and that in itself is something to be applauded and to be excited about.
Yeah.
But there has been a few comments online from obviously Farnborough fans that are not a little bit negative, shall we say. Do you guys see all of that sort of stuff? Because obviously, like I say, you guys, everyone's online. You're all on social media.
I think so. I can't talk about myself because I don't really look at things like that. I'm quite a positive guy. I look at the good things and try and keep happy and look forward and look at what we can improve on. I don't really look at negatives that much. But I think as players, we know, like, I think if you put the years together, 2020, 2024, we're probably the best performing team in this league, like, by far. That you put it all together, I think over the last 12 months as a team, we've probably picked up the most points, scored the most goals, and probably been quite defensively quite strong. So when we've had this bit of a sticky patch we've been in the last month, played against, again, two of the teams that should probably win the league, Dorking and Boreham Wood. And we held our own against them. We just lost out to a bit of bit of immaturity, a bit of like sloppiness from us thinking, we're top of league, but we're going there. And we played well in these games. We just, it's experience. Them teams are full-time teams, and we're playing against them, and we're not a full-time team. And I think if you look at that and then compare it to where we are, cool, we're doing incredible. Like, we're not a full-time team. There's a lot of fools.
That's exactly what I said to Simon, and the same thing I said. I replied to a comment, probably shouldn't have done, but I said pretty much exactly the same thing. that you just said but I said it online, and yeah, I got a few other comments on top of that, sort of going against me really. But like you say, at the end of the day, look, we're what, fourth, fifth, sixth?
Yeah, I think that run of games which we had Boreham Wood and Dorking in a week was a tough week. We had Slough, who are a couple of points below us, who are a real energetic young team again. Dorking and Boreham Wood all in 10 days. And if you said to us we'll come out of 3 points, I'd probably been like, that's quite a good result for us. I probably would have tried to take 7, maybe 5 points, because 2 draws and a win and that you'd be real happy with, and you think, oh, we've done well there. But I think the games either side of that, we were a bit disappointed. Like, you look at the Weymouth game, like, we should have won that. Truro should have won that. Obviously, we picked up a win against Chelmsford, which was great. But yeah, it's just the games there where we've drawn, where we should have won. Then you look at our results, we'll probably be second still, or a point off top. But yeah, I think
we're only 3 points off top.
Exactly. And last year we were banging the mid-table at this point. So
that's what I'm saying. I think some fans need to sort of take things into a bit of perspective and understand the achievement that we've made across these last couple of seasons in this league.
Yeah,
we are, and Spencer said it a number of times as well, that we are sort of overachieving based on the fact that we've got a young squad. The budget is one of the lowest. We have a small squad.
Yeah,
and look at what we're achieving.
And I think you also I think the thing that's upsetting for the fans, and I get it, is like our FA Cup runs are rubbish. Like we've gone out too early in both of them, and their chances were fans more than anything to get to places like, let's go Wembley, like FA Trophy. If we'd won 3 games, we're about 1 game away from Wembley, and you think, cool, what an opportunity that would have been for the fans, let alone the players. So I get that, and I think that's something that will disappoint a lot of fans and a lot of players, to be fair. But if we look, and now we've all got to do is focus on the league, it gives us one direction to go at. And
exactly.
Yeah. I mean, what you alluded to earlier, Aaron, was actually quite true. The league, I think, is a better standard than it was last season, even with Yeovil in it. And last season, I think they ended up winning it quite comfortably. But they've come out. But I think you've still got teams like, I mean, you haven't mentioned them, but Maidstone are like properly mid-table, and they're fantastic. And you've got teams like Weymouth, who were bottom, who they drew with us when they were bottom, and not an easy game, not an easy place to go either. No. And they're probably better away from home than they are at home, so watch out for them over Christmas time especially. And you got teams like as you said, Boreham Wood and Dorking, who have got big budgets, and good, and Torquay as well. There's some unbelievably good teams. I mean, if you'd said 5 years ago that you'd see Maidstone, Dorking, and Boreham Wood and Torquay in the National League South, you'd have got laughed at, wouldn't you? Exactly. So, it is a mental league. There's no easy games.
I think that's the standard of all the leagues now. Like, you look at the National League North, like Scunthorpe can't get out of it. Yeah. And they've been in that for nearly 3 years, and you think Scunthorpe is a massive team to be up there. Yeah. And it's the same at our level. Like, it's like, how can Dartford go down? They're a huge team, but they didn't do well last year. And you look at some of the teams that have gone down in the last few years. Yeah, it's a tough league. Like,
haven't Waterlooville as well, and they got massive for non-league pedigree as well, and they're in there.
And you look at Worthing last year; they were probably one of the best teams in the league, and they nearly got promoted. And you think it shows you how tough the league is, and it is definitely tougher this year. And
it doesn't stand still, does it? It's always moving on. It always seems to get better and better and better, I find.
And I think it's good football as well. Like, my mum's husband, he is a Chelsea season ticket holder, and he honestly openly admits it, that he enjoys watching our games more than that. And it's a lovely thing to hear. Like, he pays what he pays to come watch me, and he'll pay what he goes and watch Chelsea, and he'll throw that in the bin and come and watch our games much more because he enjoys it, because he says it's good standard.
It is good standard. I mean, there's some players like yourself. I don't really think you should be playing at this level, to be fair. I think you're much better than that. You should be playing league football, really. I think if it wasn't for your injuries, I think you would have been. And I think you might probably admit that yourself, possibly, maybe on the quiet. But it's not too late for you to get back there, though. Even though you keep saying you're old, you're not old. You're only 28.
Yeah, prime should be my prime.
Exactly. Exactly. A bit like me. I'm in my prime and all.
Yeah. The only prime you've got is a prime rib you keep eating.
I had a nice. Actually, saying I did have a nice sirloin down the Witherspoons around the corner the other night. That was quite nice.
Very
No.
nice.
Yeah, very good. Happy days.
Don't get him on. Don't get him. Let's not get Simon onto food again because I can sort of see him starting to salivate.
Yeah. I keep having to wipe my mouth. What's going on? Yeah. I'm sweating as well at the thought of it. Yeah.
I want to ask you, Aaron. Last season, you were our chief penalty taker.
Yeah.
I wanted to sort of not explain, but sort of go through how, because it's sort of a bit unorthodox how you would take the penalties back then, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I can you before you start. I can you to David Luiz, but especially not just because of the hair, but also the way you run out for the penalties. I thought he's David.
You didn't. Well, what's the reason for it? Because you started with your back to the goal, and then
I don't really know how it came around. So somehow it go back to Slough. I started taking penalties at Slough, and I went right always. I used to always go right, open my foot up, and try and put it as close as I can to the top corner. And I scored like 3 in a row, and I thought, cool, this is working. I've got this. And then Bakes, who was there at the time, he said, you need to change direction because someone's going to read it and do their homework and they're going to save it. I was like, it's not going to happen. Like, I hit it hard enough. It's going to go in. It's going to go in. And then this one time, this like massive goalie got there, hand down low, flicked it over the bar from underneath. I thought, he's right. I've got to start changing it. So then I just started turning my back so they couldn't see where I was facing. And I didn't get like any... Goalkeepers try this weird stuff to put you off.
Yeah.
If I face away, they don't know what I'm doing. And then I just decided I'm just going to smash it. And so that's what I do. Like my plan is to just smash it as hard as I can in a direction away from the goalie or straight down the middle. And and that's how it is. Like I try and get as much momentum. Half the time I end up in the goal, following the ball because I'm running as fast as I can to hit it as hard as I can. But yeah, I watched, I think when I first signed, we missed like 4 penalties in 3 games. And I thought, Spencer, let me have a go. And then he said, yeah. So I was like, perfect. And I think I just trust myself to score. And like, if keepers stand still, then fair play to them. But if they don't, like, a lot of the time last year, I went in all directions. I think I went left twice, right twice, down the middle a few times. I just make sure I get a good connection, because if you don't get a good connection, you try this weird little hop, skip, jump. There's all sorts that can happen and go wrong, and the keeper can wait and dive late and still save it. So
is it like the case? So your philosophy basically for penalties is you don't know where it's going to go, so the goalkeeper won't either.
No, I do know where it's going. I have a plan. I can't tell them that much because otherwise keepers are going to be listening and they're going to try and save.
We do get a lot of goalkeepers listening, to be fair. Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, that's it, exactly. I get nervous, honestly. On Saturday, I thought, if it goes to penalty shootout, I'm playing against a former keeper. He knows what I'm going to do. Because the one at Aveley last year, Jonathan North was the last Slough goalie, and he knew like what I did. And I thought, cool, I'm nervous here. Like, I'm a little bit nervous. So I had to try and smart him. So, yeah, luckily I scored.
Yeah, happy days. Well, apart from that one, you hit onto the M25 or the M3 round down the road. I think
NASA are still looking for that.
Yeah.
NASA are looking for that. I did message them. I asked them to keep an eye out just in orbit, see if there's one up there.
Those guys in the allotment had a bit of fortune there. Apart from the guy who hit with it, but other than that, he was all right.
But that's the case. That I actually tried to go really in the top corner on that one. I thought last week I got one right in the close, and I thought I'm going to go even closer, and I just went. Oh, I went so far.
Yeah,
it went into someone's top corner.
It made it worse. They went and scored one straight away after. I think.
Yeah,
it made it worse.
I was at that game. I think, oh god, this is going to be one of them games where everything's going to go wrong.
Yeah.
I can't even remember the score. What game was that again? I can't remember.
I think it was against. Was it against Aveley again? No, it wasn't.
I can't remember.
Yeah, do you know what? Yeah, do you know what? It might have been. Aveley, you might be right.
I think it was a 2-2 draw. Jordan scored a left foot edge of the box.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
That's right. I know we didn't win, and I was thinking, could we? It was one of them games where I was thinking, if we drop points here, we're going to drop out of the playoffs, and then you got recalled, and then we lost the bloody Taunton at home, and that was that. So
honestly, my mates recorded that game. They like thought I was going to score again, and they recorded it and they posted it on Twitter, and they said, "Oh,
I was going to say that. Brilliant. I was going to say that penalty miss certainly did the rounds on social media for a good while. I was getting messages up here from friends up here.
Honestly, I was getting messages from everyone like, "What has happened here? Where's the ball going?"
Yes, yeah.
Oh dear! I thought we'd. I looked up in the sky. I thought, pretty sure I saw it circling the moon the other day, but I'm not quite sure.
Brilliant! Honestly, I'm
Sorry,
still trying
sorry.
to find it in the trees.
Right.
Need to let it go, really, don't we? To be fair, you know what I mean. It's not. No, you only missed the one. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? With football, you kind of miss one, and everyone remembers it. You know what I mean? We don't remember all the ones you scored.
Yeah, exactly. I think it was 8 out of 7 out of 9 last year.
Yeah,
yeah.
decent, yeah.
No wonder Spencer was happy to let you take them, because the season before that, I think we missed about 15 in a row or something, didn't we?
Yeah, it was. Honestly, that is exactly what happens. And I
was like, oh God! Honestly, when as a fan, every time we got a penalty, everyone started groaning. So, oh no, here we go again. We're going to miss another one. It was like that. It's terrible. So we had Alfie Pavey was on him at the start of the season. He scored like 4. Then he obviously left and went to Woking, and then we were thinking, right, who's going to be on penalties now? And I think the next one up was Taylor Maloney, who we were sponsoring last season as a shirt sponsor, and then he stepped up and missed, and it was here we go. And it was like one after the other. And I think Jordan then ended up stepping up when he missed it, and of all the people that missed one, Jordan, he'll score.
Michael Falevi missed. Honestly, I remember it was like 4 in one game, 4 in 3 games. So I was like, Jesus Christ, we're terrible.
Yeah, we had 2 in the same game, and we missed both of them. It was getting beyond the joke, and Spencer was going banana. He wouldn't even. He was walking down the tunnel every time the penalty taker stood up. He was walking off down the tunnel. Didn't want to see him. And then obviously you turned up and saved the day a bit until that one that you won't talk about ever again.
A little bit.
Happy day. Right, what else we got here? What else we got here? Anything else?
Yeah, conscious of time, keeping you on for not keeping you for too long. I've got one 2-part question from a fan that's come in. He said, when you look back on your career, what's so far? What's been the highlights, the highs and lows of your career so far, and how influential? You've touched on it a little bit about your dad. How influential?
Yeah, you got there in the end.
Has your dad been on your career?
So my biggest high would probably be playing for my country. It was another.
So you got on Wikipedia. I don't know how up to date it is or how correct it is. You got 1 under-19 and 1 under-20 cap.
Yeah, so I think it's altogether. I played 2 games for the under-19s in the Euros qualifiers, and then I played 2 games. Well, 2 games against the Czech Republic for the under-20s. But
where were those games played? Were they somewhere nice, or was it?
We were in France. It was really nice. Honestly, it was cool. Like I say, it was the maddest moment ever. So me and one of the other Reading boys, we got called up and went out there, and we were training at St George's, which is amazing. And we did a week there, and then we did a week in France training as a team, and a few other boys met us. And some of the boys have been there like regularly, done it all the time. I'm literally like rabbit in headlights, didn't know what I was doing. Like walking around this place, looking at some like famous footballers, thinking, Jesus Christ, like what am I doing here?
Yeah,
I didn't even expect to be there. It was mad, but I obviously earned the right to play. We went out to Euros, and I think I played the first game. I think we played Denmark, and I played 45 minutes in that, which was amazing. And then the second game was Azerbaijan. I started and played the whole game, which was amazing. And then the last game was France, which I sat on the bench for, which was again. Like Kingsley Coman was playing, it was crazy. There were some players on the pitch. I thought, Jesus Christ, they're playing in like the Bundesliga at this rate, and I'm playing in the Championship for Reading. And I thought, Jesus, what an opportunity this is. And we were getting coaches with like police escorts everywhere. We had badges. Like it was honestly one of the best experiences of my life. Played with some of the best players that are playing for England now, and have made great careers in football, and I was very, very lucky. And that is definitely like getting to sing my national anthem, seeing my mum and dad in the crowd, like a bit of a tear in my eye. It was a very emotional moment. My squeaky voice, top of my lungs, screaming it out, and it was amazing. I'll never forget that day, and I'll never forget that opportunity.
Do you get a cap? Do you get like an actual cap?
Yeah. Honestly, it's in my bathroom downstairs, and like I've got the shirt. You get to keep the kit and everything. I was baffled. Like some of the players were putting it in the bag. I was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Yeah, you keep the kit." I was like, "What?" So I was like, "Oh my god!" So I was like, "I've ruffled it in my bag." I got my cap. One of the caps actually turned up at Farnborough because there was a delay in them getting delivered last season. So yeah, I got the cap all framed. My lovely other half got it all framed for me for Christmas.
Oh, nice!
Birthday last year. And it's an amazing moment, and I'll never forget that. And then obviously the biggest low is my injury and setback and getting released. That all in one, that's a big low in my life. Sad moment, but is football like that was in the space of 2 years, how it can change so quickly. And that is football for you. But yeah, my dad being a part of it, massive part of it. Everyone says it's a bit of a cheesy thing to say, but my dad was my role model. I wanted to recreate the career he had. I wanted to be him. Like everything I did was to make him proud. And I think that's the effect he had on my family. Like my sister was the same, and we just like look to make him proud. I'd be out working hard every night, and he didn't push me as hard as his dad pushed him, but he helped me, but he wouldn't interfere in me making my career. I had to do it myself. Like he didn't. In games, he wouldn't talk about me. He wouldn't push me to go to clubs to go on trial. He wouldn't step in. I asked him to be my agent when I first saw my pro deal. He said, "No, not doing it. You're doing this yourself." And I think that he is definitely my role model. Like I look at him, and that is what I wanted to do. He had 500 league games. I wanted to create that. And the only thing I got on top of him was I played for my country at a younger level. But he had the opportunity to do it in his actual like professional career, and then just fell out just because of a stupid red card. He is my role model. Typical little young boy looking up to his dad and wanting to be him, and that was it.
Nothing wrong with that, though, mate. Nothing wrong with that at all.
No, and I'll always admit that. I had a role model in football who was Paul Scholes, and I wanted to be like him, but my dad was my idol, and that is something I will always say.
Well, fair play. No, like Simon said, there's nothing wrong with that at all.
Would you say you're sort of more? Sorry, you think you're more of a similar player in the same mould as your dad? Because both played midfield, didn't you? Both sort of up and down, box to box sort of players.
Yeah, definitely. I've only seen a couple of videos of my dad because I was too young. My sister got to see him. Like when he was playing, I was real young and I didn't really see it and can't really remember it. But apparently he was a technically gifted player who liked to tackle, but was also really unbelievably good on the ball, and like would win games for teams just for being an out and out like superstar. I think if he was smart, he could have had a better career than he did. But again, what a player, apparently. Everyone I speak to say that he was a tough tackler, but as a player, he was incredible, technically gifted. But like I say, I've only seen a couple of videos on YouTube of him scoring like a 40-yarder banger top corner, and that's it. He got to play at Wembley. He got to do all things like that, captain Portsmouth in the semi-final of the FA Cup. So, he achieved some amazing things. But, definitely my idol.
Brilliant stuff.
Cool.
And thanks to Jonathan Woodward for that question as well. Right, Simon, have you got anything else you want to?
No, not really. I think it's just that's probably a nice note to end on. I think. I think it's a good. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with that, and probably in different ways. My dad was probably my idol in certain ways, and I think Alan probably said the same about his dad in certain different ways.
I think it's always it, and I think that's the dads want to achieve that, don't they? They want to make their sons proud or daughters proud, and want to show them the way they want to live life.
Exactly. Yeah, he's also his way of making all the decisions in your footballing life is obviously paying off because you made the right one coming to Farnborough. So
definitely, it's the best thing.
So really, we've got to thank your dad for that. Really.
Yeah. I had to make a decision. Honestly, this was probably one of the first times I actually made a decision on my own. And that was it. I knew I was making a decision. I made the right decision.
With all the options that you had laid out in front of you, it must have been excruciating at first.
Honestly, I wrote it down. I wrote it down on a bit of paper, and it was like pros and cons for each club, and then literally at Farnborough at the bottom was just like best options. So I was like, perfect. That is it. I know what I'm doing, and I think always knew that this is the club I wanted to come back to. So yeah.
You're saying all the right things. We really know what happened. You got that coin out, didn't you? And started flipping it. I can't make my mind up.
The coin. Honestly, I was flicking it for ages, but it just kept on landing on its side.
Yeah. And Listen, I got 10 grand a week full time at Braintree, or 50p part time at Farnborough. What's it going to be? And then 40 we come out trumps. Happy days.
What we can't see is on the other side of Aaron. There is a wall chart with all the teams on there. He's laid them out in a tournament style. When he's flipped the coin, move them up. Move the winner along.
So true, honestly.
Still went down to penalties, but luckily it was like the one he skied in that game last season, and we came up front. Sorry, that's the last time I mentioned it. I promise. Last time.
No, it's fine. I'm still looking for it. Don't worry.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I think we're going to end it there, Aaron. Don't go away. We'll have a little chat after when we stop the recording. But thanks a lot for coming on tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure.
No, thank you. And honestly, let's hope the season keeps going the way it's going, and we can achieve something big this year.
Yeah, I'm sure we will. We're in midfield now. I think we're definitely pushing on, mate. Definitely. So like I say, I'll echo Alan's thoughts. It's been a real privilege speaking to you, and it hasn't. Honestly, we've been chatting for nearly an hour and a half. It hasn't felt like it, I tell you. So it's been.
It's been
really
lovely.
good. It's been really good. Yeah, it's great. Well, obviously, we'll stick your hourly weight down, and we'll see what we can do.
Right. Yeah. So, like I said, thanks for coming on. Good luck for Saturday down in Weston. We will see you at probably the next home game. I'm going to try and get to the midweek game next week.
Worthing
home.
Yeah. I'm going to try and get down for that one. We'll see. But that leaves me to say that this episode was sponsored by Chartec Consulting, taking your business visions and turning them into innovative reality. For more information, visit chartecconsulting.co.uk. Simon, say good night.
Good night, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, and special thanks to Aaron for his time this evening.
Cheers,
thanks for watching. Thanks to everybody for watching us on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well, and we will be back next week with another episode. Good night.